Unless you lived under a rock for the past weeks, you know what OpenClaw is. This thing is so powerful that people are buying every Mac Mini that they can put their hands on just to have it running 24/7. But do you really need a Mac Mini? Today I'm going to show you how you can have your own instance of OpenClaw running 24/7 for a fraction of the cost on this. We're going to harness the power of OpenClaw and strip any overhead cost, such as hardware and especially energy. Because yes, a Raspberry Pi draws way less current than a Mac Mini. This is the breakdown of what we'll cover in this video. I will show you what a Raspberry Pi is and the hardware we need to have OpenClaw running on it. Then I will show you how to actually install OpenClaw on a Raspberry Pi, onboarding, and finally connection to Discord. Let's get started. So to run OpenClaw on your Raspberry Pi, first of all you need a Raspberry Pi, of course. This is the same board that I showed you before, just inside an enclosure. I'm not going to go in detail of what a Raspberry Pi is and what it is not. There's plenty of information out there. I'm just going to say that it is a fairly powerful piece of hardware that you can use on lots of interesting applications. Now, before people start yelling at me in the comments saying that this is not powerful enough, this is powerful enough to run large language models remotely through API keys. If you want to run local models, you can run maybe some small language model, and we'll see that in the future. For now, let's focus on running OpenClaw with remote API keys. Usually, a Raspberry Pi needs a SD card to run, but given the frequent read and write operations that we're going to perform, that OpenClaw is going to perform, you're probably going to risk to destroy the lifespan of your SD card. Plus, it's going to be a bottleneck, a limiting factor for the speed of the actual read and write operations. That's why I'm going to use a SATA SSD drive with a USB. And that's all you need in terms of hardware. Let's now see how we can install OpenClaw. So the first thing we have to do here is flash the OS into the SSD. So what I did is I plugged my SSD into my personal Mac Mini, and then I'm gonna flash it with the Raspberry Pi OS. Here I use the Raspberry Pi Imager. So I'm gonna select the Raspberry Pi 5 because that's the model I have. For the OS, I'm gonna go with the default 64-bit operating system. Here it's asking me what device I want to install it, so I'll select the SSD. This is the host name that you want to give your Raspberry Pi to make it identifiable on your Wi-Fi. I'm going to leave it Raspberry Pi 5. Here is some time zone information, that's fine. And then this is the username that you will need to access your Raspberry Pi. I'm going to leave Lorenz. I'm going to put password. This is going to be useful for SSH connection. Here is where you provision the credentials for your Wi-Fi. So I'm gonna put the password. Next is SSH authentication. I wanna leave it on because technically with a Raspberry Pi, you can hook a keyboard, mouse, and external monitor, but I prefer to SSH into it so I can access directly from this Mac Mini. I'm not gonna enable Raspberry Pi Connect. And here is the final screen. Basically, there's a recap of all the settings that we provided, and now we're gonna write it, and it's gonna take a while, so probably gonna get back when this is done. So once the OS has been written to your SSD, you simply unplug it from your desktop computer and you plug it back into Raspberry Pi, and then you wait for it to boot. Once it's booted, as I said before, you can use a keyboard and a monitor. I'm gonna SSH into it, so SSH, and I'm SSH'd in. So now we're going to execute a few commands here. This is everything we need to prepare the Raspberry Pi for OpenClaw installation. So we're going to start with the first one. The first one is basically to update any OS that we freshly installed. It's going to take a little bit of time, so once again, I'm going to be back when it's done. When that is done, we're going to go with the second command. This is to install some more dependencies that the Pi needs. So, and I'm gonna put all these commands in the video description, so it's gonna be better for you if you wanna just copy paste as I'm doing here. And once again, it's taking a little bit of time. Done. Now we're gonna install Node. OpenClaw needs Node 22, so that's what we're gonna install. Done. And then everything is installed. Let's just make sure that everything is in place. We run Node version to confirm everything is installed. 22, that's fine. Now comes the fun part. We're going to install OpenClaw. Actually, first, what I'm doing now is we are making the freshly installed node configuration global, so we won't have permission issues when OpenClaw runs. Let's resource terminal. And now, as I was saying before, the fun part. We're gonna install OpenClaw. It's gonna take a little, so I'm gonna be back when it's done. Here we are. Installation went through fine. This is the onboarding, so we are successfully installed. This is the classical OpenClaw onboarding flow, so I will probably fly through it. I'm gonna go with OpenAI, and here there's something different we have to do because we are SSH'd into the Raspberry Pi. So I'm gonna auth with the credentials, not with the API key. So what it's gonna ask is, I cannot do it directly on the Raspberry Pi because I'm SSH'd in. So what I have to do is I have to open these link in a browser and perform the auth flow over there and then paste the redirect URL here. I hope it makes sense. So I'm gonna paste the link here, and that's gonna ask me to authenticate into ChatGPT. I'm gonna use my account, and now this is gonna redirect me. This is the callback URL. So let me paste it here, and it's done. So auth is complete. I'm gonna default to GPT 5.2, and then I'm gonna use Discord as a channel, as a communication preference, because I found out that Telegram and WhatsApp tend to disconnect, and I like Discord better. So we're gonna go with that. And now we have to start the Discord connection flow, which is fairly easy. So all we need is to go to the OpenClaw documentation page, and you go to channels and you select Discord. And here is all the steps that you need to do to connect Discord to OpenClaw. Let me resize this a little bit. I'll pull up my Discord here so we can get started. First thing we have to do is create a server. So we're gonna do that now. Add a server, create my own for me and my friends, and I'll call it, that's fine. Now we have to create a new application in the Discord developer portal for the bot to sync with. So that's what we're gonna do now. Developer portal, we have to click bot and set the username that we will call our agent with. So I'm gonna log in. So we will add a new application. Let's call it OpenClaw. I'm a human, of course. Now we're gonna go to bot. We're gonna give it a username. I will call my agent George. Then we will have to enable privilege intents. So still on the bot page, we have to enable these three options here. Which are these three? 1, 2, and 3. Next, we're gonna have to copy our bot token, and we have to store it somewhere temporarily because we're gonna need it soon. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click reset token, and this is the token. So I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna paste it in the same text edit file that I had for my commands. I'm gonna put it here. Next, we have to generate the invite URL for the bot to join our server. So we will switch to the auth to bar. Actually, we have to save changes first, and then we have to switch, and we have to enable a few options here as well. We have to enable bot and application commands in the options here. So bot and application commands. And then down here, we have to enable 6 more, which are view channels, send read message history, view channels, embed links, attach files, and add reactions. So embed links, attach files, and add reactions. And this is the invite URL. We have to copy and paste it in the browser. So copy, new window, and here we are. So we can connect to the server, grant all the permissions, authorize, and we're good. We're connected to the server. Next, we have to enable developer mode in the app here. We're gonna go to settings, advanced, and I have developer mode enabled already, so I'm good. And then we have to copy server ID and user ID. So this is what we're gonna do now. We click on the icon of the server and we copy server ID. And I'm gonna put it here as well. And then we have to copy the user ID. Copy user ID. And then we have to make sure that the privacy setting has the direct messages enabled. So here, privacy settings, direct messages are enabled, so we're good. Then we have to set the token. So let's go to a terminal. Let's open the file here, copy the token, and I'm gonna paste it here. Configure Discord channels now, yes. I'm gonna allow all channels. And Discord is already connected. So now I'm gonna skip skills for now. I'm not gonna install hooks. We're good. OpenClaw is installed, configured, and connected to Discord. Now the only thing we have to do is verify that the dashboard is reachable. So the TUI works. Let's see now if the gateway works. OpenClaw. We have to configure it because once again, we are accessing it through the SSH on a different machine. It's not local where my terminal is being executed, so we'll probably need a SSH tunnel. But everything seems fine here. It says that Discord is connected, so we're good. Now, the very last thing to do is accessing the dashboard, and to do that, we're going to launch OpenClaw dashboard, and this is going to give us the URL that includes the token that we're going to use to connect to our OpenClaw dashboard. So I'm going to copy this, open a new tab in the browser, paste it, and here we are inside our OpenClaw dashboard. Everything seems up and running now, so it's probably a good moment now to test the connection with Discord, and we can do that by messaging George from Discord directly. So I'm going to message George, are you online? And yes, connection with OpenClaw works. We just have to send the pairing code to OpenClaw, and we're going to do that now. And if you go to the documentation, it tells you exactly what to do. You can do it with the CLI, or you can directly ask your agent. And you simply prompt the agent to approve your Discord connection and pass the pairing code. That's what we're going to do. Then you simply copy paste this command into the chat, and you're good to go. Now, just to verify, you can restart the bot and check the status. Let's ask again if the bot is online. And if we try again now, yeah, everything is up and running. So we have successfully configured OpenClaw with Discord on a remote Raspberry Pi. And from now on, it's just a matter of starting using OpenClaw in the same way that you would normally do. In the next videos, I'm going to show you all the use cases that I have planned for OpenClaw and all the projects that I'm going to start with it. So stay tuned and